welcome back to yoga class with Lindsay. I'm really excited about today's class. We're going to do some really nice, juicy opening poses that kind of reset our conception of the poses while really working all aspects of hips and shoulders in particular. And I'll be doing it with you, so we'll navigate it together and take what you need in terms of if you want to go farther in a pose, go ahead, and if you want to rein it back, there's options for that too. So for today's class, we'll need a block, a blanket, and at the end we'll use our straps. And to start, we're going to be in Virasana, hero pose, seated with a block or a blanket in between our ankles or on top of our ankles if we're sitting on our heels. So I'll demonstrate on my mat. Knees together, heels are wide, roll the calves, flesh outside of the legs, and then sit back onto your block, which you can scooch between the ankles. Alternatively, if you'd like to pull the ankles together, you can sit on a blanket on top of your ankles. So whichever way feels good. We're going to start to lift the chest, coming into a nice upright posture while the hip points move down, inner thighs move down, and then we're going to start to feel the breath engage in the back body as we pull the abdomen in Uddiyana Bandha. We're letting the chest rise and exhaling. Deepening the exhales so we can take fuller inhales. Sinking the hips, inhaling. Arms are in the lap or at your sides. Exhaling. Deepen the seat in your exhale. And rise from the umbilicus up the chest, nice long back of the neck. And then begin to explore with your breath how this posture feels, bringing a little more awareness into the side ribs, underneath the armpits, the side waist, the latissimus dorsi on the going up the back, diagonally. Where can we feel our breath into these various aspects of our anatomy? Become more enlivened and engaged with the breath as it courses through the body. And begin to breathe from the chest, mid-back, and lower back versus the shoulders. Good. And then bring the hands to fingertips facing towards the back of the room. Thumbs touch the arches of the feet. And then just poof the chest out as you tuck the chin. So just a little back bend stretch. Roll the shoulders back. Press the chest forward. Low ribs in. Good. Rounding out through those fingertips just to say hello to a little back bend. And then coming into neutral spine. Inhale, raise the arms. And exhale them wide down to the floor. Noticing again our breath, just like we were practicing. Inhale, raise the arms, except now we're doing it with the movement of the arms. Again, exhale, exploring the different aspects around the chest, under the arms, around the shoulder girdle. Inhaling, rise. Exhaling, how's our posture? Are we grounded? Let's take one more breath. Inhale. Inhale to the fullest extent of the breath. And at the top of the breath, stop moving and exhale, lower the arms down. Then take your left hand, let's keep it where it is. Raise the right arm over top and exhale, drop the right shoulder as you bring the hand to touch the left hand. So inhale, rotate the shoulder open again, right hip grounded. Exhale, grounded hips, drop that right shoulder as you bring the right hand to touch the left. Inhale, arch in the side ribs, rotate the shoulder open, look underneath the right arm. Exhale, drop that right shoulder. So a little variation here. You might have felt some cracks in your back. It's like a twist and a rotation. Good, inhaling. And exhale, press that right hip down as you reach that right arm to the left hand. Good. And then coming over to the other side, the right hand comes out where it lands. Left arm sweeps up, arch the back to the right. And then exhale, drop that left shoulder as you bring the left hand to touch the right. And really you're going to feel that pressure from the left hip down. Inhale, rotate the chest open, arch to the side. Exhale, drop the left shoulder, left hip down, reach to the hand. Inhale, open the shoulder, side bend. Exhale, drop the shoulder. And we'll take one more, just like on the other side. And exhale down. This should feel nice and good for the back to really open up. Good, and then inhale, lift your hips, remove the block or blanket, and let's come into a child's pose. Knees wide, seat to heels. Let's have active arms, so engage all 10 fingers as you widen the chest, widen the side ribs, the lats. Underneath the armpits is reaching long. And we're resting the top of the head on the mat, just really sinking into the hips and the head. Start to make that association in your mind of how it feels from your hand all the way to your low back. And having our spine as the divider in the middle, and then from hand to back and opposite hand to back, 2 long columns of strength. Wrapping the outer ribs, the side ribs, the back body around to the front as we tuck the tail. This engages the core somewhat. And inhale, rise into Anahastasana puppy pose. So bring the knees under your hips, parallel lower legs, and then walk the hands out about 1.5 feet or so, and drop the head and chest until the head reaches the mat or the chest, hips over knees. So creating a hammock between the hands and the hips. Begin to, again, feel that wrapping of the outer shoulder down. And how's the breath? Can we lift the breath into the chest, into the neck, calming the thyroid and the neck muscles. Space in the back body. And exhaling, gently coming up and onto our abdomen for cobra. So untuck the toes, bring the hands to the low ribs, elbows in, and we'll breathe into our cobras for counts of 3. So inhale, sweep the back of the head up, Wide shoulder blades, elbows in, exhale down. Inhale, baby cobra. Strong legs, lift the kneecaps. Inhale, lengthen the side ribs. Exhale down. Place the head down as you bring the hands to the top of the sacrum. Thumbs down, pull the elbows in. Let's take another cobra here. Inhaling, more like Shalabhasana here. Exhale down. Keep the clasp, inhale. Lift the chest. Exhale down. And one more time. Inhale, Shalabhasana. And exhale, release hands to the low waist. Untuck the toes and reverse knees, chest, chin. So take that Anahastasana, that puppy pose stomach as you lift the hips. Pull the abdomen into the back body and press into the arms to come back to your child's pose, and then we'll meet back in down dog. So same movement here. Let's do, to get into our down dog, let's come into a plank here. Inhale forward. Elbows back. Tops of the thighs up. Chest forward. Exhale back to down dog. Heels back. Walk your dog. Lengthen the side waist. Inhale, coming forward, square, sturdy, strong. Look forward, shoulders down the back. Lift the abdomen into the waist. Exhale down into down dog. Drop the chin, pull the low ribs in, hip points back. And inhale, coming into plank again. Pull the elbows into the waist in your mind. Heels up, hips up. And exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward, look up, and drop the left knee. Crescent pose, inhale, sweep up, and exhale, come down, Ardha Hanuman. So rock onto that heel, half split here, drop the right hip, inhale, rock forward onto that right foot, sweep the arms up, tuck the tail, back bend, imagine a cat, exhale, pull the low ribs in, tuck the chin, cow with the right leg straight. Inhale, sweeping into lunar lunge. Arch the back, and then exhale, pull everything into a cow. And then coming right hands inside, take a plank pose, and exhale, down facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, sweep the knee into the chest, and then let the knee touch the outside of the right arm, like near the elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Inner thighs roll back in your three-legged dog. Make sure the right glute is not much higher than the left. So keep the hips square and even. Exhale, pull the knee in, pull the belly in. Bring it to the outside of the tricep, elbow, and back three-legged dog. Spin the inner thighs in. Exhale, pull the knee in, coming forward. Another core, knee to elbow, and three-legged dog. Back down. And inhale the left leg. Sweep it forward to the left wrist, right knee down, crescent pose. You can keep the right heel tucked under. Exhale, cow pose, rock onto that left heel, straight leg. Ardha Hanuman. Just a visit. Inhale, sweeping up into lunar lunge. Arms extending from the breath. Exhale, rock back onto the heel, hips back. Ardha Hanuman. Again, let's take one more. Inhale, sweeping up. Drop the hips, tuck the tail. Exhale, Ardha Hanuman. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Inner thighs roll back. Glutes are even. Bring the left knee into the chest, and then come forward to plank as you let it touch the tricep or the elbow. Exhale, three-legged dog. Using control in the front body, low ribs pull the knee in. Touch the elbow. Exhale, even hips, three-legged dog. Last one, inhale, everything in, touch, and exhale, three-legged dog. Come to downward facing dog, and let's take a vinyasa here. Plank, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, looking forward. Baby cobra, or high cobra, or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg back. Sweep it forward. Look forward, low lunge. Left leg comes up to meet it. Inhale halfway. Exhale, let's take a nice forward fold here. Heels are as wide as the hips. You can bring peace fingers to your toes or your hands behind your calves if you can't reach your toes. Hike the hips up, lengthen the chest forward. Exhale, fold, elbows come out wide. And then strengthen those quads, lift the kneecaps. Another name for this pose is intense pose. So the intensity comes from the legs, and the upper body is soft. Let the head be heavy, but don't let the shoulders kind of slump over the neck. Try and bring the shoulder blades up the back as you bring the elbows wider. So this is going to really engage the back shoulder blade muscles and arms more than the chest and head. Good. Inhaling, let's come gently up, rolling up, tucking the tail, stacking the body to an upright posture. Good. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, come to plank. You can drop the knees or come into chaturanga, elbows back, pull in the abdomen. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Otherwise known as a vinyasa. Inhale, right leg back. Sweep it forward, crescent pose on the right side. So inhale, sweep the arms up, drop the hips, bend that right knee, and then bend the back knee, and then straighten the heel out as you lengthen. You really should feel that in the left quad. Nice stretch there. And then grab opposite elbows, drop that left heel down, and look back at the left foot, and really press into that outer edge of the foot so it feels like the skin underneath the pinky toe is moving towards the ball of the foot, the toe, big toe mount. Good, and then rotate the chest forward with that traction in the back heel. And then for those of you who want to clasp with the hands and flip the palms, Regardless of whether you have elbows or palms, we're going to work the shoulders here. So drop the inside of the shoulder blades, wrap the outer shoulders forward, drop the inner shoulder, the inner armpit, as you lengthen the pointer fingers away. So coordinating here, level 3, warrior 1 here, and exhaling, come into warrior 2. So bring that front heel to intersect the back arch as you bend into the right leg. And then inhale, straighten the legs, pull the left foot in, Trikonasana. Straighten the right leg, quadriceps up, kneecap lifted. Hinge the hips over to the right. And let's take that left hand behind the waist so that it comes to the top of the right thigh. So bound triangle here. And with that hand, you can imagine or feel your hand pressing the right hip long, and then rotating, revolving that chest towards the ceiling. Tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the head. Be gentle with the neck. Exhale, look down. Take this into a half moon. So you can grab a block, or what I like to do is keep the bind and come into a balanced posture on my fingertips. So again, finding that strength and rootedness as we revolve the chest open. Exhale, take a long step back, back, back into warrior 2, undo the bind. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And exhale, let's bring our hands to our hips. Right heel in, drop the tail, lift the hip points. Pull up on the inseams of the thighs and the inner toe mound. And then left foot comes out, right heel up, crescent onto the left. Drop the hips, bend the back knee, and then straighten the heel as you lengthen the quads. Grab opposite elbows and drop that back foot, look at it, bring the pinky toe heavy, and then revolve the right chest forward again into warrior 1. You can keep your elbows like this. Again, dropping the inner armpits and the front of the shoulders. Or you can take the clasp, flip the palms the opposite way with the opposite threading of the fingers into warrior 1, like this. So we're getting in our shoulder openers with a little twist and strengthening of the legs. Right shoulder forward, house the breath, lengthen the back of the head. Keep the back body open to receive, and then come into warrior 2. Lengthen, hands on the hips, draw the right foot in about a foot or 2 for triangle, Trikonasana. Hinge the hips, lift the left kneecap, and the right, for that matter. Right hand, I like to come around the waist. Left hand can be on a block or your shin. And then use that right hand, which is on the top of the thigh if you can get it. If not, regular is fine. But if it's on the top of the thigh, press the outer thigh back. Even if you don't have the grasp, imagine that crease in the upper groin extending to the outer thigh, pulling that back, revolving the chest. strong legs. Exhale, look down, pop up into half moon. If you need your block, go ahead. See if you can do it with the bind for challenge. Everyone falls a little bit, just like me. Good, and then exhale, nice long, big step back into warrior two. Work the bind. Arms wide. Inner armpits lifting. Exhale, reverse your warrior. And then come to hands on the hips, left foot in. Line up your toes in wide-legged stance here. And if you know your head doesn't reach the ground, grab a block and make sure your toes are lined up. Tuck the tail, lift the hip points, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward until the hands reach the outer shins, grabbing the ankles and elbows wide. So I often have to adjust my feet a little wider so that as I lengthen my hamstrings and drop my head can reach some solid form here. Whether it's a block at some height, or I can finagle it with no block and just using my limbs to adjust the height of my sits bones, the length of my spine. And then when you have that contact with the top of your head, it's nice to lift the sits bones, rotate the inner thighs up and back. How's the I can't remember this word, inside the ankle? The inner arch, yes, the inner arch of the foot as compared to the outer arch of the foot, the outer ankle. Just notice both ankles lifting, elbows wide. Good. And inhaling, hands on the hips, coming up. Frame the right foot. Take a vinyasa here. Inhale the right foot long. Exhale, sweep it to the right wrist. And come into lizard pose. So bring your block with you and have it underneath your left leg, just above your knee. So I have it on the second lowest height. Actually, put it on the highest height, since this is a low lunge. It's just above my kneecap there. So we're in lizard, hands inside the right foot, and then pull that right knee into the top of the right arm. So there's contact, right knee, right arm. And then press the inner thigh of the left leg back, the heel back, lengthen the chest. Good. And then from here we'll come into side angle. So lift, bring the block up to the top of your mat, drop the left heel, and the block will come outside the right foot, so for your right hand, and then sweep the arm horizontally up as you rotate the chest towards the ceiling. So a little different way of getting into side angle here. Again, we're keeping that right heel, right groin crease, right hip tucked back towards the left heel, and lengthening the breath through the abdomen. Good, and exhale down. If you'd like to take the arm balance here before you go into vinyasa with the right elbow underneath, go ahead. Otherwise, take a vinyasa here. Moving back and down dog. Inhale the left leg long. Sweep it forward to the top of the left side of the mat. Bring the left hand inside, coming into your low lunge. Grab that block, place it above the knee on the right leg that's long. And then once you have that block established, this should feel like a nice opening for the inner right, for both groins actually. And then you want to bring that left knee in to touch the top of the left shoulder. So we're working our way to bird of paradise here. So the more you can work in this posture, just having control of the inside of the left leg and the length through the lower body, the better off. Good. And then lift the hips. Left hand grabs block, places it outside of left foot. Right heel comes down. Sweep open the right arm by the ear. Drop the left hip. And then pull the left outer hip to lengthen the abdomen, engaging the abs to rotate the chest. Side angle pose. Good. Exhale. Take the arm balance if you did on the other side. And take a vinyasa here. Moving back and down dog. Inhale the right leg long. Sweep it forward to the right wrist. Walk the hands towards the left. And then drop the hips to the right as you bend the right knee. Lift the left ankle. Skandasana. Palms can come to heart center or bracing on the floor. And then use the arm strength to lift the hips. Bend the left knee, right heel up. Skandasana on the left side. And you can go back and forth, lifting using the arms or just keeping the arms at your chest. We'll do 2 more times on each side. Inhale, right side, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, rocking onto the heels. And it's okay if your bent leg, the heel doesn't come to the ground. Good. Do the last one. And exhale. Walk your hands to the front of your mat, low lunge. Pop the left foot up to meet the right at the top of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, grab a blanket if you need it, but it's not necessary if you have this. Heels, heel toe your feet wider than your hips. Heels are in, ball of the feet facing out of your mat. We'll come into Malasana, which is a squatting posture. So you can use the blanket under your heels if they don't reach the floor in this posture, or you can use a block underneath your hips. But I challenge you to drop the tailbone and lift. Use that traction of the elbows inside of the knees, knees to elbows to knees, to lift the chest. Really engage the glutes and engage the back body, the side ribs, the armpits again. And exhale, lift the hips, hands to the ground. Heel toe the feet together. And you can inhale with bent knees coming to the top of your mat. Good. Exhale down. We'll make our way Back down again. Inhale, swoop up, tuck the tail, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swooping forward. For Urdhva Dhanurasana. I'm sorry, I'm confused. Come into your vinyasa. Ardha Uttanasana was what I was trying to say. Upward facing dog. Roll it up. The elbows in. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg back. Swoop it forward to the left wrist. And right heel comes down. We make our way into a bind here. So again, just like we did with lizard on the block, with that knee touching the left elbow, or the left top of the shoulder, keep that contact with the knee and the shoulder as you bring the top of the shoulder underneath the knee, or as much as underneath the left thigh as you can. And then roll the shoulder forward as you bring the back of the hand to the outer thigh. And then that's going to grab the wrist of the right hand. So a bound side angle from the floor. And then start to straighten the left leg. You can bring that right foot into a bound triangle here. Inner thighs rolling back. If you have that clasp, straightening the arms. And then you can stay in bound triangle, or if you want to step that right foot up and then come to stand on the right foot as you lift the left leg with the arms. But it's really going down into that right foot. Quads engage down the right foot, and then pigeon, bird of paradise here. You can keep the leg bent if you're going there. You're still back at the bound side angle. That's good. It's all options. And coming down from our bird of paradise, back to triangle, unwind under the arms. Place them to frame the left leg, and take your vinyasa here. So squeeze thighs, lift the abdomen, chaturanga. Roll the shoulders back, upward facing and downward facing dog. Good, lengthen the side ribs. Make the outer shoulders wider than you imagined. Letting the neck be soft. Biceps rolling up to the ceiling. Inner thighs down. Away, that is. Some days I'm articulate, some days I'm not. So let's make today a good one. Right leg up. Swoop forward to the right wrist. Left leg comes down behind. Bend that right knee. Make contact with the top of the shoulders of the inner knee. And then turn to the left as you bring the upper shoulder underneath the hamstring, the inner knee. So you can roll that shoulder forward inside the knee as the right forearm, back of the hand reaches the outer hip and grabs that left wrist. So notice it's not left grabbing right wrist, it's the right wrist that's going under grabbing the left wrist. And then squeeze if you have the bind, squeeze the arms straighter, lengthen the right quad. So you're going to feel that really intense hamstring stretch. Just go to your edge where you're still breathing. And you can stay in a bound, half bound, a triangle bound, or pop that left foot to the top of your mat, stand on it, bird of paradise on the right. That standing leg is going to be rooting down. And if you want to straighten your leg in bird of paradise, go ahead. When you're ready, you can drop that right leg down. Frame the right leg, coming out of the bind, and take a vinyasa nice and slow. If you need to drop the knees into knees, chest, chin, go ahead. And if you are in downward facing dog, come to your abdomen and we'll all meet in Sphinx pose. So lift the right leg, make it long. Lift the left leg, make it long, toes untucked. And then zip the inner thighs together. So you bring the toe mounds together. And then elbows under the shoulders. Lift the pubis, draw the tailbone down. Lengthen the abdomen forward into Sphinx here. Exhale. Coming out of this, let's do Shalabhasana. Hands in a clasp on top of the sacrum. Let's lift the feet, lift the shoulders. Coming up. Upper arms together. Lengthen the front body. Go for length over height. And exhale down, bring one cheek to the mat. Rock side to side. And inhale. You can do Shalabhasana again with the arms bound the opposite way, lifting the toes, inner toe mounds touching, lifting the legs. Or if you'd like to bend those knees in Shalabhasana and grab the ankles into bow pose, Dhanurasana. Go ahead, keeping the thighs parallel, tailbone tucking down, lengthening the front body. A lot of core work here. That same wrapping sensation around the ribs, the back body, the obliques. And coming down, place the opposite cheek on the tops of your hands. Good. And then come into knees, chest, chin. Untuck the toes, lift the heels, press the elbows back, and sit on your heels here. And grab a blanket to place on your mat the long way. It's folded in, only 1/4 is unfolded, so it's about as long as your shins would be. And place your shins on that blanket, keeping those feet tucked under, however. Sitting on the heels, we'll come into camel pose, Ustrasana. So let's come to lift the hips, standing on our knees. Bring the hands to your imaginary jeans pockets, and then tuck the tail, pull the elbows back, and actually take the hands off of the back body and let's bring the thumbs inside of the armpits. So like Mr. Monopoly Man, like pulling up our suspenders, that is, on the front of the armpit. And then inhale, lengthen, feel what that does with with our thumbs hooked under our pecs, that really opens up the chest. And then I want you to tuck the chin, don't let the head fall back. Tuck the chin and really feel the muscles in the back of the neck going up to the back of the skull, and that the back of the skull is reaching towards the back of the room. So integrity through the chest and neck. And exhale, gently come down, sit on your heels, hands at your lap. Just noticing the breath and how we feel. And inhale, coming up to camel once more. Hands can come at the jeans pockets. Of course, if you want to reach back and place the hands on the heels and do camel that way, we'll do another one like this. So both variations, the strength is coming from the quads, the tailbone is moving down, and the glutes are more or less relaxed. And then pull those elbows in towards each other. If your arms are straight, you're rolling those biceps to either side of your body. And then how's the neck? Can you bring some wideness in the collarbone, tone into the back of the neck, lengthening it. And exhale, coming down. Let's come into a child's pose here. Knees wide, and just resting in a forward fold like this. You may be feeling a little tight in your back, and that's okay. We're going to come from this posture into some that will help. Forward folds really help undo a lot of the back bends. And often back bends need a lot of quadricep flexibility. So come up into tabletop and downward facing dog, and then we'll make our way to pigeon prep here. So inhale the left leg long, sweep it forward to the right wrist, and then just like we did last week, drop the right knee but keep the back toes untucked, using the hands to keep the hips lifted. And then place the outer left hip down, and then I want the right inner thigh to straighten and lengthen the back leg. Okay, so you're going to feel that stretch in the left outer hip, and then inner groins are rolling in and back. And then from here, having established that foundation, move out of the prep, untuck the toes, and walk the hands forward into pigeon here. This should feel super nice. And you can stay in this posture. If you want to try something a little different, you can come up for a minute and bring that, to help bring that right arm across the chest, and lie back down again with the right arm across you. So what this does is brings the left chest open some, and then you can bring Anjali Mudra to your pigeon as you roll the chest open with the left heel digging into the top of the hip. So this is just a pigeon variation. It has some reclined twist aspect to it. Or simply, if you just like the feeling of the right arm underneath you. And of course, can't go wrong with classic pigeon. Take another 2-3 breaths here. Sinking into that left groin, inner groins back, and that letting that hip open, softening the mind and the breath. Gently coming up. You can rock over to the left, bending the back leg, and then sweep into tabletop. Just be gentle when you come out. And make your way to down dog, lengthening the backs of the legs, lifting the left leg long, unwinding some. Then we'll make our way to pigeon prep on the right side, lifting the right leg long. Exhale, sweep it forward, right knee to right wrist. And then scooch the left inner thigh, inner toe mound back, hands by the hips, lifting the hips. And then with the left toes tucked under, lift the inner thigh and straighten the leg as you scooch lower onto your right hip. So use your arms, use your hip strength and flexibility. And then once you feel that those hips are square, the inner groin thighs moving back and up, then you can drop that left knee, untuck the toes, and walk out to your pigeon this way. And if you feel it, if this is something that you like and you've done before in your home practice or in other classes, bring that left arm across your chest and come to the left shoulder and Anjali arms at the chest. So the pigeon variation from the other side. And you're going to feel that heel digging into the left inner hip point. And that's good. So let this be the release for your back that you want. Wherever you are, fully be there. Give yourself a break. The mind relax some. Give gratitude. Deepen the breath. Nice long inhale. It's getting heavier, more relaxed. And then from here, gently walk the hands up. Roll onto the right hip, bend the left leg, and come into your downward facing dog, or however you like to unwind. And then once you're a little unbound there, stretched out, drop the knees again and roll onto your backs, and then get your strap handy. So a strap or a towel or t-shirt will all do the trick. And no need to make loops, just grab one on the other side. And as you come to your backs, bend your knees in, and then wrap the strap or t-shirt, whatever you have, around the ball of the feet, and then press the inner toe mounds up and squeeze the thighs together. So make sure the hands are even, shoulder blades flat on the mat. So this is a variation of the toe holds we do usually seated. So this time I want you to pull on the strap and really feel that pressure into your sacrum. This should feel really nice. Counter pose to the back bends we did. Lift the heels and pull the strap towards your face as you bring more stretch and activity to the calves and hamstrings. Then as your elbows come in, pull the low ribs down and place that pressure into the sacrum again. Drop the left leg from here to come out straight on the ground. And then grab the strap or t-shirt with the right hand. Left hand comes to the floor, and then externally rotate the right leg so the toes are pointing down, heel is up, and bring that leg over to the right. If you want to lay the leg on your block, if that block's really close to you, go ahead. Otherwise, just open the leg up, feel that stretch. Externally rotate the heel, right hip down, right heel up. And exhale back to center. Bring the left leg up. Pull it into the bind. Right leg comes down straight. Left hand grabs the strap. And then right hand comes out. Right hip, right leg is straight up and down as you rotate the left leg externally out to the left. Really reaching from the heel. Keep that right hip grounded. And exhaling, coming back. Bring the right leg up again. Last stretch. Both feet together, pushing the ceiling away, lower back long. And then drop the legs, remove the strap. And you can take happy baby or grab the knees in, rock side to side. Do a bridge if you need to, just anything to get ready for Shavasana. And as you get ready for Shavasana, make sure the upper arms are underneath the chest so you have a nice chest opening. Legs are slack. Breath is soft. Eyes receding back into the head. Feel the back of the head, neck, back of the chest, and the heart just sinking deeply into your mat here. After all of those twists and bends and back bends, allow yourself to feel the wonderful feelings of a neutral spine, rest, and the rejuvenation of all these pieces coming together in Shavasana. Allow there to be space between the thoughts, space between sense awareness, observing the body. Taking this for another few minutes or so. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.